Alright, hello. I just wanted to make a video on the most recent Enhance nerf and how Enhance is looking like going into Season 2 and what hero trees you'll play. So, the nerf was a nerf to Flowing Spirits and the tier set. It was a pretty small nerf to the tier set, only about 1 to 2% probably. And then the nerf to Flowing Spirits has potential to be big, has potential to be small. We don't actually know how big this nerf is until it comes to live because it was not tested. And the reason is because the current formula for Flowing Spirits is very weird, and we don't know if they're changing the formula with the changing the proc rate, because it's not a flat proc rate. We also don't know if it's going to be good with Elemental Spirits now, because right now it's very bad with Elemental Spirits. You can get around it if the nerf is big by just swapping to Witch Doctor's Ancestry, which is Manual Wolves. And if you do that, the nerf only ends up to be about 3 to 4%, so it's not really that big. You don't have to play Witch Doctor's Ancestry if you don't want to. Likely if you're doing like Mythic Raiding or very high end M+, you'll probably want to eventually, but at the start of the season, you definitely can get away with playing Flowing. It won't be that bad. On the topic of Enhance is good, a lot of people are asking if like Enhance is dead or something. I definitely do not think Enhance is dead. I think for Raid, it's looking pretty good. It's simming middle of the pack. It probably won't be topping the meters, but I think the damage profiles of Enhance is actually quite good for pretty much every boss in the Raid. And for dungeons, I definitely think Enhance is good. I was trying to do dungeons with a build with Witch Doctors that isn't really impacted with the nerfs, and I was doing good damage. There's a lot of talk about Ellie versus Enhance. I think they're very different specs. Like, Ellie has a very bursty profile and Enhance is a very consistent profile. Ellie is range, Enhance is melee. I think they're essentially two different specs. They have advantages, they have disadvantages. I don't think either of the two is better. If you want a talent build with Witch Doctors, I have been playing this build in PTR over the last 2 days, and I actually think it is pretty good, so you can try that. Asking about Totemic versus Stormbringer in M+, I think Totemic is probably looking better and simpler. Stormbringer I haven't had to perform as well as Totemic for my testing, but it is still performing okay. It's not terrible. You definitely can still play Stormbringer if you like it, and maybe in the future there will be something discovered about Stormbringer. For Raid, the hero tree in Raid, I think it's boss dependent. I do think Totemic might edge out as like an overall tree if you're only looking to play one tree. And these are my guesses for what the trees you will play on certain bosses are, but I don't know if this is actually true. It might be different when it comes into practice. And if you want to know talents to play in Raid, you don't need to look at a guide for this, and I can't make a updated factual guide before the Raid because I feel like things are going to change. Talent builds might be different depending on tuning of ads, for example. So a way you can find builds is to go to Warcraft logs, look at the Liberation of Undermine Raid rankings, look at Enhancement Shamans, and then you'll just see the talents of everyone that did good damage on a boss. Oh, and a little bit on initial gearing. You kind of just want to get haste mastery items. For the ring, you definitely just keep Xerxes Circlet on for a long time. For the craft, you just craft a weapon, one-handed weapon with Dark Moon Sigil Ascension again. And for trinkets, I think you should just go to dungeons, get Improvised C4 and Pacemaker from Floodgate, and Signet of the Priory from Priory. And for the raid trinkets, I wouldn't really worry too much about the raid trinkets. I have Kazan is only good on long raid fights. Other than that, it's not that great. Most skills will probably benefit more giving raid trinkets to other classes, so you honestly don't really need any gear from raid to play Enhance Shaman at the start of the season, which is quite nice. Thank you for watching. Good luck in Season 2, everybody.